Hello, this is Compound Interest Stock Guy, and today in this video we're just going to be talking about preparations and just you know, setting yourself up for whatever comes down the pike. So stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, hey, don't be shy, subscribe. I talk a lot about commodities, I talk about cannabis, and I talk about, you know, some random new stocks now. I'm getting more knowledgeable about stocks like Tesla, Apple, and you know, the list goes on. Just a market participant, and you know, I want to gain as much insight and knowledge before kind of talking about a subject, but you know, I stay on top of my stuff that I'm knowledgeable about. Anyways, I also want to disclose I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment information purposes. Do not buy or sell based on anything I talk about. Buy or sell after you did your own research, due diligence, and you like the investments you're pursuing. So alright, so hey, if you want to follow me at Compound Stock 13 on Twitter, my Twitter channel is really growing up. I post there a lot. I do charts. I talk about things, you know, I talk about things that, you know, you can't do on a YouTube video. So you know, I got a good following, and you know, it's just growing really fast, so I'm putting a little more time into Twitter than YouTube, because not as many people really are following me on YouTube. You know, watch a little videos here and there. I know people enjoy my dark side shows and my report card series, but I don't think I really get the respect I deserve. So I don't really, you know, put as much time into that stuff. You know, I do the report card series, but anyways, let's get into this video. Okay, so first things first is, we don't know how this will affect the you know, the grocery stores, right? We don't know. So as a precaution, you may want to get lots of water. You may want to get you know, little groceries, you know, get granola bars, you know, have little stuff that, you know, if something really did happen that's all messed up, and there's no electricity, that you can eat that food. Just like have that stuff away, right? Lots of water. Your body can handle not eating for a while, but your body needs to have water, so make sure you have a lot of clean water. So, you know, buy those 10-liter bottles of water, buy like a couple of them maybe, and just like grow your supplies. So I haven't really talked about this stuff before, but I'm knowledgeable about this stuff. I'm not your #1 prepper. I'm not super prepped, but I'm just giving you advice that I've learned from other people. That's sound advice, so I'm just sharing. Listen, if, you know, things don't happen and they're not so bad, then, you know, all the better. You're still going to use that water and that food, but worst comes to worst, you do have preparations. So that's my advice on that side. You know, whatever things you need to do if you know, if all of a sudden all the grocery stores were shut down and you couldn't get food for a month or so, you know, I mean, worst comes to worst. I mean, I don't think we're necessarily anywhere close there, but you know, just looking at what's happening with China, you know, you got my dad talks to someone there and says that you can only be out for like 15 minutes of the day or something like that to get groceries, and or it was an hour, I guess, and the person was late and they got in trouble with the government and stuff. They're like all mad at them, like, oh, you're late. So I don't think that would ever happen in Canada or in USA anytime soon, but we just don't know. I don't plan on doing any like big trips or anything, like, not because I'm like fearful of getting the coronavirus or anything like that. I just don't want to deal with the airport kind of like all that bullshit. So I'll wait till, you know, things get like more straightened. And I'm not the only person, you know, so, you know, there's people that are shorting, or they're doing puts on big companies in the airlines, right? I'm talking about like Delta Airlines. I'm talking, you know, there's a numerous amounts. United Airlines, there's other ones. I have a list on my watch list. I'm not with my watch list right now, so I can't tell you everything. but I can do my best to say what's up. And yeah, I just turned around. There's a little bit of a clusterfuck driving down that road. So, you know, I'm just driving around, so I'm just having this speech with you guys. So I appreciate you guys following up. But there's companies that are gonna get devastated in the coming months unless there's like crazy amounts of surplus of liquidity that the Feds pump into the markets. There's just so much unknowns about the financial repercussions, right? I posted on my Twitter that the biggest company, I think the biggest alcoholic company is Anheuser-Busch. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're number one. And you know, they basically were they lost like 270 million in revenue in the first 2 months, right? So that's like 135 million in revenue. On top of that, you're talking like 170 million in EBITDA. That's a lot of fucking EBITDA. So that's 2 months. Like, talk for 6 months, you know, then you're talking closer to like, you know, 1.5 billion in EBITDA. You know, that's like crazy numbers, right? So these companies, they're not the only company. I'm talking about Apple. Apple's already talked about that they're gonna have less revenues, they're gonna have less EBITDA, less net income, all that stuff. You know, I listened to Wolf of Weed Street, I mean, his live stream, and he's talking about how you know, he thinks that the data is going to be bad on come Sunday night. So, you know, it could be really bad and the markets are going to crush. So I have a put on Apple for 220. Do I think it'll hit? Probably not. Probably won't go lower than that for March 27th. But there's a chance it'll drop down to like 245, 250, and the premiums will spike, and then I can sell it off for a nice handsome reward. At the very least, it is a percussion. It's a insurance for the downside risk on all my stocks. So you know, I know Cyberworld. I know Cyberworld, from some people they call him a dumbass, but I think he's honestly one of the smartest cannabis YouTubers out there. As much as he doesn't have the best like vocabulary sometimes and stuff like that, but he's actually smart. You know, he bought big Tesla puts. Meanwhile, some people are saying like, oh, Tesla's gonna go forever up. No stock goes up forever. And you know, there's chart reading that people know how to read. I advised I was a Tesla bear back when it was at 950 bucks or somewhere around that range, and I got a put on them. Have I continued to do the put? No, because I lost my, you know, attention for them, because it was trading within a range like 800 or so, and then all of a sudden the negative news came about last Monday and it took me off guard, and you know, the premiums would have been pretty expensive. I'm thinking probably Cyberworld got those puts back when the stock was like $900 or something like that, and way before this week. So that's why he crushed it on his puts. But there's gonna be opportunities, you know. I think a safe place to put your money right now is cash. I mean, it's cash is king. Cash is king, and people are taking their money out of gold. But it's hard to say how to put it into a thesis about the gold in this short little skit. Maybe I'm gonna do the live stream tomorrow. So if you follow me for my live stream tomorrow, it's probably gonna be somewhere around 5:30 to 6:30. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll update when I'm live streaming, so you'll know when I do the live stream, and I'll post it, and or just follow me on YouTube, and you know, I'll do it. So yeah, crazy fucking drivers, I gotta say. Yeah, I mean, just be careful out there. I do think gold and silver is going to be a play. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it could happen very shortly. I don't know about Bitcoin. I'm more bullish on precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, but mainly gold. I think gold's going to be your safe haven, and then silver's going to kind of lag it. And you know, that's kind of my thesis. I think if you want to watch for all the data for the negative news, you know, when negative news comes about, and the market could have a crazy drop. So it's not smart, it's not it's wise to just be careful, and to if you're buying right now, like, don't buy a lot of a stock, because it don't matter what industry, it can drop a lot harder. And for the most part, probably just want to sit in cash and wait for the tide, you know, wait for the direction. You know, we don't know if cannabis is going to be a safe haven in this whole thing. It could very well spike, but it hasn't been seen yet. So there's a company, I don't know the name of it, but Andrew Left says it's a company to watch. I believe the ticker's SGRD, and they're connected with the coronavirus, so watch out for that. You know, mRNA does have a lot of cash, so watch for them. But at the same token, if there's good news, and there's you know, headlines saying that the coronavirus is kind of dissipating, those stocks will start to get crushed, and then the Apple and all the other stocks will start to go up. So we will see. Listen, we're in uncharted times. Because I talked to my dad about this. I was like, well, what about the SARS? And you know, there's some guys, I know, like Fit Traders or whatever, that guy's like saying, oh, well, like, it's just gonna be okay, you could just buy it. And I'm like, no, that's not the case, because, and he's talking about the SARS, but I talked to my dad, back when the SARS was around, we weren't such a global you know, a global kind of currency, like economy, where everything, you know, just goes all around. So it's different now. Now we work with so many different countries, and it's a lot bigger economy. So if something bad happens in like China, it gets affected in Canada, it gets affected in USA. So that's the whole thing. You gotta be thinking about the thesis. There's gonna be a time when you're gonna wanna own some of these stocks, and you're gonna wanna go big. But right now, I don't think we're there. Anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Keep compounding your info. Listen to my lingo. Shaka, peace. I'm out.